Making your way through work Monday takes everything you got. Then Monday night rolls around and you realize there's a shot. You're only 10 points away. All those times when your team had no fight, they're just so gosh darn frail. Then your star quarterback let another deep ball sail, and your third round pick bet on his team. Then go check out our streets where everybody knows your game, and they listen to complaints. You wanna be where you can see our bodies bring you no shame. You wanna go where everybody knows your pain.
Welcome in to another episode of Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. I am here with Robbie. Bobby, what's up, guy?
How you doing, Mario? Good to be back. What's up, dude?
Dude, it's funny. This is like a very familiar place for us. This is where we started feeling it real.
You muted yourself, dude.
I was fixing a
Unbelievable
plug there. Right as I said, this is where we started feeling ourselves. But no, Thursdays was when we started running. We would do the Thursday night episodes. We do our DFS lineups. Can't wait to get into those.
Yeah.
We would do like starter sits, which I think that's our Thursdays right now. And I mean, Robbie, we could set. I mean, I haven't built the schedule out, but we can make this happen again, dude.
A little Rob and Mario time. It's always
go before the game on Thursday night. Get the people pumped.
Yeah, man. Maybe we'll do it the hour before the game and hop on, get our DFS plays out there. That way, if we want to do a Thursday one, we could do a Thursday one, and yeah, maybe get the people ready for the week.
Yeah, I also have noticed when I'm not on, you guys roasted me. I get roasted when I'm not on.
100%.
And then I comment, I say anything in the Discord, nothing. I get no responses. I can't even it's like you guys are like, whoa, man, we're just talking. Like I'm the villain.
I just, I'll be honest with you, Mario. When you're not on and I'm on, my favorite thing to do is just talk shit about you. Like it brings me so much joy. It fills me up. It gives me my second wind after the first half hour of the episode. That's when you'll notice after the first half hour, that's when I really start talking shit. Too. It just gives me my second wind. Gives me the energy to get through that episode. It's
BS, dude. So I was on there, you guys talk. First off, I get gated out of whatever I say. I don't even I do need new friends. Oh crap. Because go ahead and show that. I do, because I get gated. So I'm saying all these things in the chat, and only people in YouTube chat can see what I'm saying. But I get gated on what I can say. We're shit talking my team. We're shit talking my trade. I'm like, man, and then I have notes. You guys were like, well, Mario did this, Mario did that. Oh, I got Mario on Musgrave. And yes, you've got me hyped a little bit, but it was a rookie tight end replacement that I needed. I was like, what's the difference technically in all technicality? What's the difference between Musgrave and Laporta right now, other than 20 spots in the draft? What's the difference? Why wouldn't I get that?
You're talking to the wrong guy about that.
I know, but
I mean,
So when I was watching you guys talk on my trade, I'm like, what? And then Alex, oh man, Alex goes, well, I think Mario wants a first for Alvin Kamara. He still values him as a first. And we had a specific conversation where he's asking to buy Alvin Kamara from me. And I'm like, I just bought your 2024 first. You're going to have to pay me extra for this to help your team. It makes no sense for me to trade Kamara for second and whatever he was offering,
just because you don't want his team to be better. No, it makes
sense.
Yeah.
What purpose that served me?
Should we start talking shit about Alex now?
Yes,
let's do this.
This team is going to be last. That's a top 3 pick. No, I am getting a little bit more. I hope he's not watching, but he might be. Getting a little nervous for Fi's team. Getting a little nervous for Fifi. Cooper Kupp. We'll slide right into the news. Cooper Kupp.
You know what's crazy is I've been trying to trade for Cooper Kupp in every league.
He's also down for the Alex shit talk, so he would appreciate it as well.
Yeah, there'll be plenty. It's going to be coming.
So you have been trying to buy.
I have been this whole offseason. I've been trying to get him. But Mario, what I was saying about the trade specifically, if we're talking the trade, is I think you got fair compensation.
But I just sold a year.
I think you sold multiple years is what I was saying. Like if you're giving up Jalen Hurts and he's young, what, 25, 26, however old he is. You're playing a game where you're hoping you get the first overall pick to take Caleb Williams. He's going to have to develop and hopefully, whatever, or a replacement quarterback for him unless you're trading for another quarterback, but you're going to have to give up a massive haul. So at that point, it's like, why'd I do it? Unless you like another quarterback better. But in order to get what Jalen Hurts is currently, it's probably a 2-year process. Hopefully.
So Marvin Harrison Jr. is a great call out here. There's a couple reasons why I looked at this trade, because I know this specific person that just commented, the Marvin Harrison, said, I don't really understand what the hell you're doing. And honestly, it is a little bit off, because even in that trade, I got Alvin Kamara too. When I got young pieces picks, and then Alvin Kamara. It leaves the options open, right? So there's so many different thoughts. I have no clue what my team's going to do this year. We're relatively young. Our starters aren't amazing, but there's a lot of high upside players in that lineup currently. And with the Jalen Hurts thing, when you look at his team, need no respect. When you look at Cody's team, who is absolutely stacked as well, those two teams, I wasn't deep enough to go to the playoffs with them. It didn't happen last year for me. And that team, what I felt like my team was stacked last year, I wasn't deep enough. And I sold out to get to that point, to where I was last year, where now I'm like, my blue chips are my quarterbacks. And it sucked, but I knew the haul would be massive enough where I'm like, okay, I'll gamble with Mac Jones, with Ryan Tannehill as my super flex. Even if they don't pan out, I got 4 receivers now that could potentially play in that super flex. The guy that won in our league didn't have 2 quarterbacks. So like, there's a lot of things going in my mind where I'm like, it sucks getting rid of Jalen Hurts. I gave away the best part, but eventually this league is going to catch up on, I think eventually our value for picks is going to go up a little bit more. I think.
Maybe.
Because like, if you put that in keep trade cut, it's a massive haul by me.
100%.
I understand why that like doesn't calculate the same. I completely get that as well.
Yeah. That's my argument. It's just, again, for me, giving up a young quarterback that's a top 5 quarterback, no matter what haul you're getting, it's setting your team back multiple years.
Yeah. And I think that's possible. It really can be. I just, I think anything can happen if you make playoffs. So at that point is when you could really see. Nina's over here licking my elbow.
Craziest part would be is if you win the league this year. I
would love it. I would love it, dude. I would take that.
I don't know if I'm coming back to Dad Bod next season if that happens, but
I'll be insufferable.
That's the league I came in second last year, and
you took me out.
I did,
jerk.
And I loved every second of it.
You had a late run though, right? Like things change in playoffs, but I think your team last year was deep.
It was.
My team was not.
Except my QB2. I mean, I had Kirk Cousins. He was good.
It got you there.
But he lost it for me.
I think, but there's also something to be said about like, we're going to be running into injuries. I need to deepen my bench right now. My dog's going wild.
Get it. No, I get it.
All right. So we are talking tight ends this year, or this week, this episode. Jesus, what a start. The news that we had was Cooper Kupp day to day. Real quick, let me go back before we get into these tight ends. So you've been talking about trying to trade for Cooper Kupp because you were mentioning it, then you bounced back to the trade. Mm-hmm. So what would it take? What are you offering at this very moment? Because I've sent out 1 or 2 already today, and it's the first time I've sent anything for him.
I don't know. I'd have to, because you know how we do it. Like for both of us, besides what you just got in your trade, 9 times out of 10, we're going into the season without first round picks, right?
Yeah,
majority of the time. So I don't have a first round pick to deal with. I got a second that I'd have to pull up my roster. Sorry, I'm pulling that up.
you're not going to get him with the second.
No, that's the thing, right? Like, I was hoping I'd be able to get it with like an injury concern plus the Matthew Stafford concern plus he's 30. You know, like, and it wasn't just a straight second is what my phone's super slow.
Would you offer like a second and Christian Kirk?
Oh yeah, I think I did.
Easy. I think that's easy, and I think I would turn that down as a Cooper Cup owner. I think I want.
Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat. I think I
would. You offer? Something. Would you offer a first alone?
I would if I had it.
Would you offer
if
a first
I'm like,
plus?
Again, that's like if I am. Like if I view my team as a potential win, not like I'm going for it this season, like for sure, I'd offer a first.
Would you offer a first plus? He did not retire, but he did get hurt pretty bad last year. And I think
I would offer like a first plus a receiver I don't view valuable-ish, you know, like a Darnell Mooney, like a.
See, I don't know if that gets it done. That wouldn't push me.
What about Justin Ross?
It would need to be like Justin Ross for me would maybe talk to me, but not everybody's in that boat. It would need to be like a first
Mingo?
Plus a rookie, like a first plus Mingo Mims are the two that I was specifically thinking of. If you really want to get wild, I don't know if you want to send like a first plus Zay. That seems crazy to me.
I would do
if you're really going Mingo. For it. If you're really going for it, if push comes to shove, first plus Zay, I probably would.
No, because then if you think about that, Mario, like if I offer first plus Mingo, that's 2 firsts. Because Mingo is my first round pick this year.
In a 14, yeah.
In a 14. Right.
Because that was literally pick 13, right?
13.
Which not bashing you here, but that was obviously early on Mingo.
That's where he was going, if you remember correctly.
I thought he was going like mid-second.
It was early second. Mm-hmm.
You sure about that?
I'm pretty positive.
You sure about that?
Pretty positive.
You just love
but yeah, I would do Cedric Tillman because we're in Browns country. Cedric Tillman plus a first. I would do that.
Yeah.
But Cedric
would have moved the needle for me.
It's tough. I don't have the ammo. I would probably do something like if I had the RB depth, I would do like a second plus Dame Pierce if I could get it. But I don't know if that's doing it.
He's not sure. Let's get into some tight ends here. I love how you guys did the show. It's real sad that we have done 2 of those in a completely different way, and you guys did it the much better approach.
I learned from our first.
It was a good way to do it. You kind of read off we don't have visuals tonight, but you read off your top 12. And then you would go straight into kind of talking. Each question was asked to that person. Yeah. So I think would you rather do it that way or bounce back and forth? How you feeling here?
Since we don't have visuals, we could bounce back and forth.
Okay.
I think that's fine. Yeah.
So, Robbie, why don't you read off your top 12?
Sure. Let's get into it, everybody.
And I'm gonna get my dogs situated, so I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Geez, I hate to zoom in. So my number 1 tight end this season, no surprise, Travis Kelce. Coming in at number 2, Darren Waller. That's my Diana Hill guy. I think he's gonna blow it out of the water this year. Number 3, Mark Andrews. Blow it out of the water this year. Yeah. Number 3, Mark Andrews. Number 4, TJ Hawkinson signing that massive contract today. Number 5, Kyle Pitts. Number 6, George Kittle. Number 7, Dallas Goedert. Number 8, Pat Freiermuth. Number 9, Greg Dulcich. Number 10, David Njoku. 11, Evan Ingram. Number 12,
new tight end,
Luke Musgrave.
Oh, baby. Oh, man.
Oh, baby.
What do you guys think Rob will pay for him in Dynasty? A lot?
5
I'm getting
first.
5 first sending my way. um, my top 12 is obviously Travis Kelce at 1, Mark Andrews 2, TJ Hawkinson 3, George Kittle 4, Dallas Goddard 5, number 6, Greg Dulcich. Here's where I didn't even want to talk about because the Pitzers and the Wallers are going to come after me. Number 7, Kyle Pitts. Number 8, Darren Waller. 9, Evan Ingram. 10, Pat Fryermuth. A different rookie tight end. Number 11, Sam Laporta. And 12, Robin Eye's boy. Had to be barely outside your top 12. Jawan Johnson. 13.
There you go, Tiff. Send one my way. I should definitely get a Luke Musgrave jersey. Like if I'm going to get a jersey this year.
Dude, especially if he went off, like especially if he's just next level good, has an Evan Ingram type season, rookie year.
Especially when we go to Green Bay for a game. I'm rocking Luke Musgrave. Shout
out to I think his name is Pack Rats on Twitter. He was like, I'm pretty disappointed in it was something that I posted. It was a video. It was Dobbs. It was about Dobbs. No, I'll think of it, dude. It was funny. I was like, I don't want to feel like too much of a homer. I feel like the Packers fans love me because
they're welcoming you with open arms.
Yeah, they're like, you love all these players.
It's really your Jordan Love hype. It's like giving them a reason.
I love AJ Dillon. I love Jordan Love. I love Christian Watson. I just traded for Luke Musgrave, so I'm on that train, baby. Look, they're all out. Look at them. Look, here they come, dude.
Oh my God, this is out of control. Are we just turning into a Packers podcast? Shout out to Tiff and Janet. They're starting their own Packers podcast. We will be pumping that for you guys. We'll be promoting it, and maybe we'll do some crossover traffic. We'll have some fun.
Oh, like the old school ABC Friday Night Light crossover episodes.
Sure. Yeah. Like
Sabrina on. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. Back to fantasy football. Name a tight end in your top 5 that has the potential to slip outside the top 10 and why. So wait, real quick before you start. This question has always been about it feels like a bold bust prediction. It's a spicy bust prediction because when you're ranking somebody in your top 5, for them to slide out of the top 10 is incredibly difficult to imagine, or
especially
foresee.
With tight ends. Yeah,
especially not considering injuries and being like, oh, he's going to get hurt. So, but with tight ends though, I mean, it definitely has the feeling of like, well, this could happen, I guess. Yeah. Like there's usually one, I don't know.
So low-hanging fruit on my list would have been Darren Waller, just with injury concerns. That would be the easy low-hanger, but I'm going to go with Kyle Pitts. And it solely stems on if he gets better quarterback play than he did last season, or if it's somewhat similar to what he had to deal with last year, where no matter how good Kyle Pitts is, you're just not producing in that offense with how bad the quarterback play was. And then there's a lot of talks that Drake London and why am I blanking on the quarterback?
Desmond Ridder,
that they have a really strong connection because they came in as rookies and they were on, doing a lot of training together through rookie camp, all that sort of stuff. So they got a super strong connection. So there's some concern with that for Kyle Pitts. But again, I don't have any concern really, unless that quarterback play is just dreadful how it was last year.
I mean, this is the one that I'm like, duh, dude.
Yeah.
Scary.
No, I know.
But because like even last year in the games that he played, I get it. Marcus Mariota, different offense, whatever you guys want to say. He was not in points per game, was not a top 10 tight end last year. I think it was like in points per game, tight end 19. So it's a huge jump.
This year, I think it's super hard to say Kelce, Andrews, or Hawkinson. It's hard to see them not in the top 5.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it leaves us with 2 players in our top 5 to pick from.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's tough.
No, again, because we're talking like when we're talking about this top 12 and we're talking about falling outside the top 5, say hypothetically Hawkinson plays 6 games, and in those 6 games, his points per game were top 5 every time. To me, that would not be technically falling out of the top 5 because you enjoyed those games while he played. So when we're asking this, we're asking it in a points per game sort of fashion, not an overall, because we're not going to try to predict injuries. The player that I answered here, and I kind of took an easy path here. My 5 is again Kelsey, Andrews, Hawkinson, Kittle, or Goddard, and at first I had it written down as Kittle. I said Kittle can easily fall outside the top 10. But again, when you look back at Kittle, and first off, it doesn't happen too often, even though he misses games where he falls outside of the top 5. But even when he did, I think it was 2020 or 2019, he was like tight end 19 on the year. But in the games he played, he was 3rd in points per game, because the dude is a monster when he plays. And that is going to be the same in my imagination. He's at least top 10, and I have him ranked as top 5.
Oh, Lord.
So I had to go with Dallas Goedert here.
We're going to get some...
The comments going crazy. That Green Bay Chicago rivalry is real strong right now.
Heating up, baby. Heating up. I can't wait to watch those games.
It starts week 1, right? I think it starts week 1.
Is it?
I think so.
Let's go.
Dallas
7
Goedert
days
is
away.
Yeah.
By the way, 7 days away.
Who's our opening game?
It is Detroit and Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken.
Man. The Detroit hype gonna die real fast or what?
I don't know. We'll see.
So I took Dallas Goedert here. Out of my top 5, he's been the only one that has even come close to falling outside the top 10 in points per game. I think it was 2020. He was 10th, tight end 10 in points per game. Now, obviously, I think in 2020, I can't even remember who their quarterback was, but it obviously wasn't. I think maybe Foles in 2020. Who was their quarterback in 2020? The Eagles.
Was it Carson Wentz?
Was it Carson Wentz in 2020? Doesn't feel too long.
That's not the year they won it, right?
No.
So then it'd be Nick Foles.
Might have been.
Did they win 19 in 19?
It might have been Wentz. You might have been right. It might have been Wentz.
Keep talking. I'll look it up.
Yeah, so I mean, Kittle is obviously very scary because of his injury, but when he plays well. So it's Goddard that I'm worried about, that he sees enough targets to stay in this top 10, top 5. Well, I have him ranked top 5 to stay in this top 10. Like we could potentially see Carson Wentz. So we could potentially see Albert. Do I go this route? We can potentially see Albert get some routes, especially if Goddard goes down. It's a bold prediction when you're trying to say somebody outside your top 5 is going to fall outside the top 10, and Goddard would be the scariest one for me. Man, I just rambled.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm with you. I don't have him in my top 5 because I see it. His target share of the offense will be decent, but I don't think it's going to be elite for a tight end. And I think a lot of that's going to AJ Brown and Devontae Adams, or AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
I was reading. It's a tough night for names.
I was reading the comments.
I watch Lions podcast and think they're going to beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Hey, dude, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. The year the Browns started with the Chiefs, the year after we won that playoff game, Baker, they went off. It was like that game was nuts. Remember that? It was like back and forth. It was like 47-42 or something like that.
Are you sure you're not talking about the playoff game?
No.
We played the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Yeah, and then we played them week 1.
And that game was good.
It was crazy. And that's when that game happened, I was like, we're going to the Super Bowl, baby. Like, this is week 1 and we're putting up
you probably texted me like, bought my tickets already.
Oh yeah, I bought I got the hotel ready to roll, stuff like that. Yes, I have season tickets, Stiff, so I'll be going to a few games. Excited
I don't know if I will. I don't think so. It's a 2-hour drive. It's
maybe if I invite you.
The whole plan. Yeah, we'll see.
You came up the one night.
If you said come to this game with me, I'd probably do it if I'm not doing anything. So I'm not going to act like I wouldn't. I would be there in a second. Next question. Name a tight end outside of your top 15 that has a sneaky potential to be a top 12 tight end this season, and why?
Yeah, I'm going to give you two. Dalton Schultz, I think,
This
is
is the
a
Browns
candidate.
too. This is definitely the Browns. The Browns are going to Brown. They're right. The Lions and the Browns are the same organization, dude.
No.
They are
changing the stigma. I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
Lions are fun to root for this year.
Dalton Schultz is going to be one of my guys that outside my top 15 that could sneak into the top 12.
Gross, dude. Gross.
It is, but he's just consistent. If Stroud falls in love throwing to the tight end like some rookies do, I think it's kind of an easy play. I'm not in love. Like, I like Nico Collins, but other than that, I'm not. I mean, there's people there, but there's no superstar. So, like, Dalton Schultz could get a good amount of the work in that offense. And then I'll throw like a super late one. I'll just throw it in there. Trey McBride. Again, kind of a similar situation where, yeah, Marquise Brown is there. Other than that, there's really nobody else. I don't think Zach Ertz is going to be. He's going to be a show of himself.
What are they going to do with him? Are they going to ship him off?
I don't
Why
think they're
wouldn't
going to
they
play him a lot? Yeah, they'll probably trade him. You're probably right. They're probably going to end up trading him at some point during the season. And Trey McBride showed flashes last year. He was decent in his rookie season. He's coming into year two. I think he was the number one tight end off the board, if I'm not mistaken, last year. He has the talent. And again, it's a quarter Josh Dobbs or whoever's going to be throwing him the ball. Like, he could just be the safety blanket for this offense. So I think he's a sneaky play late.
Nico, Zach's trying to get up. He's trying to buy Zay Jones. We said, how much for Bijan? He said, I'll give you Bijan and Nico for these three guys. And I'm like, where did Nico come from? So that's why he said,
because you always talk about Nico.
I don't mind Nico.
You got people listening to the podcast, so they know who to attack.
That's true. This is what I do to you. Trey McBride, I think, is a very interesting player in Dynasty, and redraft less so. I think in Dynasty, it's going to be a heavy stash here, but I think he's a guy that I would love to buy in Dynasty. I think we talk about that, so I'll stop there. But I guess what I'm saying is I like the picks. Trey McBride actually scares me more than Dalton Schultz in this combo, but that's just because I'm fading every Cardinal at this point because I think they're just.
I get it, and again, that's my like super late like throw a dart at the wall kind of pick, but I just think the player is good.
I have two here too, and one I really like, and one I've been burned too many times on. Jake Ferguson.
Yes, you have.
Jake Ferguson is the one that I really like. I think there's an opening. I saw somebody comment, and I never had this hype, so it's funny because I do kind of in the back of my mind wonder if Peyton Hendershot ends up getting more of the passing work here. But Jake Ferguson is named the starter. They utilize the tight end in the pass game. I think this offense is different, but he goes just so late that if you completely whiff every time, he's a starting tight end.
Yeah, it's a similar situation to Dalton Schultz, right?
Right. He's just a guy.
It's a very similar player coming in. He's going to be the tight end one.
Exactly.
Dak Prescott likes to throw to tight ends. It's not going to be flashy, but it'll get points.
You're spot on when you're saying that. I feel like the tight end for Dallas Cowboys, we saw what the floor of talent was with Dalton Schultz. And I love Dalton Schultz. I loved him in Dallas. But I've recognized, and I've said this a million times on this, he is very average athleticism. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I don't know what his RAS score is. If it was high, I don't care. When you just watch him play, he is a very average football tight end. When you're looking at guys like Kelsey, when you're looking at guys like TJ Hawkinson, when you're looking at guys like Mark Andrews, but the targets that he would get there makes me think that, okay, if he's the floor at the tight end one in Dallas, can Jake Ferguson be that? I think that upside is there because I don't need to know how good he is. I think there's just an opening for him to get work. The second guy is the guy that burned me the most. Did you want to comment on that? Did I cut you off?
No, I'm with you. You're good.
The second guy is who burned me the most. Irv Smith Jr.
Yeah,
I'm back in. I think you have
multiple times.
Not, I think there's a sneaky shot if he stays healthy. He's on one of the best offenses to be on. We saw Hayden Hurst have some relevancy last season. That is, I think he's not. I don't think he's talking about Irv Smith, but I think
he's talking about Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, I think it falls to all categories here. But Irv Smith is somebody that I think Norton actually is a fan of Irv Smith this year, or maybe he's not. I can't remember now. But yeah, like I think he's got a long shot outside of the top 15 to sneak in that top 12.
I don't know. That's a tough one. Barring a T. Higgins or Jamar Chase injury, it's tough.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I'm saying?
What if Joe just lights it up this year? 45 touchdowns.
Hey, what I'll say is I'm going to how our man Andrew how Cooper does his tight end kind of analysis, and you know he's the tight end whisperer, so I got to default to him. You're looking for a tight end that has a clear path to being at least the number 2 option on that offense, right? Or what is it? Number 2 option or
100 targets or
100 targets or 8 touchdowns. Like that's the threshold.
8 or 10,
yeah. And like you want a clear path to number 2 option in the offense. I think Trey McBride has a clear path to that. And I think Dalton Schultz has a clear path to that. So that's why I went with those 2 picks. But I don't hate where you're coming from with Irv Smith. I get it. He has the talent. It's just, again, massive if he stays healthy.
Yeah, I think there's like the touchdown. I think the touchdowns is how you would have to get to it.
It would have.
Yeah. He's not getting.
It'd have to be touchdowns.
They're not getting 100.
Which again, the high powered offense like that, it could happen.
Especially if Joe Blow goes crazy.
Yeah, he's back at practice. He's
back,
looking like he'll be ready for week 1.
Definitely not 100, Albert. But let me see if I can have it pulled quickly here. Hayden Hurst.
That's the thing, right? Like,
did somebody else answer?
How massive of an upgrade is Irv Smith over Hayden Hurst? Do you think it's like a massive jump?
No, well, we don't really know. He had 68 last year.
It's about what I think Irv will get.
It's not a terrible number.
It's not, but again, like
But then it's like you're talking about a guy that's not going to hit top 12. Yeah, it would have to happen with touchdowns.
It would have to happen with 8+ touchdowns, which it could with that offense, but we'll see.
My new favorite strategy is if I can't get Ingram in the 9th, I'll take Cole Kmet and Kincaid in the 12th, 13th. I did something similar a few years back with Andrews and Waller when they're no names. Yes. I mean, that there's not only are you stabbing at Ingram late, which is the 9th, this has been a process I've been doing a lot. I have different guys. I have different names. I'm Laporta and Greg Dulcich late, right?
Yeah. That's again, I'll give a shameless plug to our dude Andrew Cooper. That's he calls it his yin and yang tight end draft strategy, where you take one safe play and one high upside for the upside. And that's a great way to do it if you're missing out on those top tier tight ends, you know, the Kelsey, TJ Hawkinson, Mark Andrews, for me, Darren Waller. If I miss on one of those guys, I'm with you. I'm going to wait and try to take one of those safer plays, David Njoku, and then late take a swing on like my man Luke Musgrave, like a Kincaid, Sam Laporta, one of those guys.
Well, I think Laporta's more safe than high upside in ways. I think there's a path to targets there.
I agree.
Not that it necessarily matters, but I think he almost has like. I think I can say with certainty that he should at least get like 80 targets.
I'm with you. I agree with you. But that it just, I guess the risk is he's rookie. Like that's why it's a risk.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like
counterpoint.
I think the better way of phrasing it, as opposed to like high upside, is a safe floor that you're like a Jawan Johnson, some like a safer floor. That kind of player.
That's safe. That's not that safe.
I do. I think it is. Dalton Schultz. Well, let's keep Dalton Schultz. He's a safe floor, right? Like we kind of know he'll be okay. He's going to be Tyler Higbee. They're going to be safe-ish. And then you take a risky play, such as a Sam Laporta or somebody like that.
Hey, Zach. So why is everyone hyped on Njoku? Has he ever done anything but get hurt? So one of the things that Rob has said to me on this podcast. Now I understand, Zach, because I usually don't have Njoku hype. He's not in my top 12. He scares me to finish the season because we see the huge, massive potential, and that's part of the reason why people get hyped. The other reason is because you live in Ohio. But Rob has said it to me on this before. He's like, yeah, outside of Kelsey, which tight end doesn't get hurt? And it is a scary thought.
Yeah,
because at least
it's
like on at least 2 games every tight end, at least a year.
It's tough, and like I understand injury history with Njoku, stuff like that, but all these guys carry that risk for the most part. I'm hyped on him this season and I think he could finish inside the top 5 based solely on, one, he was tight end 7 points per game last year when healthy. And 2, by all accounts from what we're seeing and hearing out of camp is that this offense is going to turn way more pass heavy. They're going to throw the ball a ton. And if that happens, if he keeps his target share, it looks like he has a really good connection with Deshaun Watson already. There's, again, a lot of talk out of camp that they're just finding each other on the field, especially in the red zone. I don't see why it's impossible for him to at least crack the top 12, if not get into the top 5.
Kincaid was drafted to be Josh Allen's security blanket. Laporta is more of a blocker a la Komet. No, I don't think so. I don't think so either, dude. I think especially with the Jameson news, they don't. It's Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra, and I think it becomes Laporta. I think like there's the targets were spread out a lot last year. I think they'll be spread out again, but I think Laporta gets first crack at that. We know Jared Goff likes the tight end position. And post TJ Hawkinson, he was targeting no names. And there was that one game, I can't even think of the guy's name right now. I think he just got cut. He had 3 touchdowns. So, I mean, like, I think
again, clear path to being the number 2 option, at least for the first 6 weeks in that offense. And his receiving metrics were very, very good in college for an Iowa offense that had a terrible pass game. Like, you have to take that into consideration. That's why for me, I like Luke Musgrave a lot. His numbers weren't great, but I thought his quarterback play was dreadful, and how he had just the underlying metrics and what he could do in that offense and how he ran routes. Like, those are the kind of things in college you have to take more. You have to look more at the background stuff as opposed to just strict numbers. And they're going to use him in the pass game. There's no question about it. I think Laporta, easy 70 to 80 targets, if not more.
I think you guys mentioned this on the podcast last night, that it's going to be an interesting and fun year to watch some of these rookie tight ends because we have been programmed. We have been not brainwashed. We've been just watching a video. Do not draft rookie tight ends in your redraft leagues. Now, we've seen them pay out before, though. It doesn't happen often, but it has. Evan Ingram paid out his ADP by a huge amount. Kyle Pitts, I don't remember his ADP, but he definitely paid off because I think he was top 5 that year. So like these rookie tight ends, it can happen. And we just have so many this year and so many that are just shoved into starting roles that it's like, are we going to see more than one? Are we going to see one?
Said it.
Like,
Mario,
we don't know.
I said it. I've said it multiple times this preseason that like, for me, this is the year, like for rookie tight ends. I'm drawing a line of this year. If this class cannot produce numbers, specifically Luke Musgrave, Kincaid, Sam Laporta, like if those guys can't produce numbers with the situation,
Michael Mayer,
100% Michael Mayer. If they can't produce numbers with the situation that they're getting put into with the draft capital that they were taken at, I'll never draft another rookie tight end. Like, I won't do it. This is going to be the ultimate test.
Folks, that is beautiful.
Hey, Norton, while you're listening, pull up Luke Musgrave's numbers.
This has been amazing too. Laporta had a 75%
numbers for the preseason.
Laporta
I hate harping on him, but there's just so much great data coming out of the preseason for him that I'm even more in on him than I was.
I just wanted to read this for the listeners. Okay,
go ahead.
Enough of your Musgrave hype, dude. I have him. He's my dynasty tight end. Laporta
You're
had
gonna
a
flip
75.
him to me for a haul, dude.
God bless it. Laporta had a 75 route participation in week 1 of preseason, then rested with starters week 2. I am normally out on rookie tight ends, but if he hits 75% plus route participation, I'm in. The last 2 rookie tight ends to hit that level of participation were Pitts and Ingram. We just mentioned them. That is beautiful. And then he's rested with the starters week 2. Oh, Sam Laporta, dude. Yeah. He is walking. Think Conor McGregor on that sideline when he was walking to the bench to rest. He was slinging it, dude. He was walking like
slinging what
I got. I know what
he's slinging.
All right. Name a tight end you are trading a 24-second, so semi-cheap. You could go cheaper if you want to, because I think mine is cheaper. The tight end that I put in a Superflex dynasty. I think I don't know. We'll see. In a Superflex dynasty before the season starts, because you're a win now team. Oh, I forgot. I must have really glanced over that last piece. Yeah, the win now team, and then why?
Hold on, before we get into this, our resident statistician,
you got it.
whatever.
Don't worry about it.
Musgrave was crazy too. 84% route participation and a 22% target share. This dude's gonna go off.
My trade was so bad. I got just smoked in that trade.
Thank you, Norton. We appreciate you.
It is Norton Appreciation Day. It's Norton Appreciation Day. It's a new holiday, August 31st, dude.
Yeah, right.
Dad Bod holiday. Yeah, dude, set it up every year. This is the day that we always appreciate Norton.
Back to your question, Mario. Somebody I would trade a 24-second for Superflex, win now, or we'll do both, kind of win now and, maybe for the future. For the future, I would go Trey McBride. I already talked about him a little bit. I think you could get him probably maybe cheaper than a second. I don't know, because he didn't have the greatest year last year, but he'd be somebody. And then I'd be interested in Tyler Higbee if I'm in a win now situation. I think, again, just a very safe plug-in player that you can count on. He was great when Stafford was healthy last year. And again, if he's healthy, we know Cooper Kupp's dealing with injuries. He could be the number 1 target in this offense.
The last part is the part that obviously is going to resonate. I can't help to wonder how many targets Tyler Higbee is going to see on the season. Dude, if this injury is not good for Cooper Kupp, does Matthew Stafford retire midseason? Does McVay quit midseason?
I don't know what they do.
I get it's day to day, but we got to think this is going to nag. That's the scary part. We didn't talk about that when we talked it from the top. We have to think that if he's already had a setback, that's not going to be fun for his season, dude.
No, and I think what they would do, if this is persisting into the season, I think they would shut him down for the first 4 weeks. Just make sure it heals itself, which is a possibility. And then he'd be fine, I would assume, the rest of the year. But if he missed a significant time, who's the number 1 in this offense?
Cam Akers.
Pass-wise. Because Stafford's going to throw the ball. Maybe. Puka Nacua.
Yeah, but Higbee's going to be a target machine, and
100%. That's what I'm saying.
Norton loves it. When he was healthy, when the line was healthy, he was out there a ton. He was receiving on average. It was something from 8 to 12 targets a game. But then he had to block a lot towards the end of the season because that line got banged up.
Mm-hmm.
No, we got a fellow Ben Sco. I can't say his last name.
No chance. Puka Nacua would be the dude I would take a swing at.
Yeah, there's going to be Van Jefferson lovers out there. I think you go with the high upside of the person that you haven't seen, and then I've never been on the Higbee train, but if there's one time I'm agreeing with you, it would be here. But so I'm going to give my for the future first, because I'm going to have to really think on the fly here for a win now team. Isaiah Likely is my for the future trade option. I think a 24-second might be a little too much, because I'm kind of scared to do that. Because a 25-second, I would be really happy to send off.
Yeah. Maybe you might be able to get him for a 25-second. That's fair.
That's where I would like to send for a 25-second. And then for a win now, I mean, I think Juwan would be cheap, dude. And I think I would be okay rolling that dice against Jimmy Graham.
Maybe. Dude, I've tried multiple times to trade for Juwan this offseason, but
wait, with who though? My
no
brother?
Avail. Maybe.
Yeah, well, he knows that we love him. He saw a specific clip saying how much we loved him. And then if he knows you love somebody, dude, he's holding them.
Send me his number.
I will.
Time to talk some shit.
Do you want to we'll just take him out. We'll take him out on the golf course. And then we'll send out all the players.
Okay. We'll get him real nice and
we'll get him real nice take him out onto the golf course. But then I was like, well, we might as well go Italian mobsters here with this. To my own brother, to my own blood. Yeah, so I really am a big fan of Likely, and Juwan obviously is one of my sleepers this year. So that would be one of the lower guys that I think could pay off big. Is there a tight end you're trying to buy in Dynasty before the season starts because you think greatness is about to happen? And how much are you overpaying them for them?
Yeah, again, I'm going to give you two players. That you traded for one of them recently. Again, Luke Musgrave.
I've been golfing, Zach. I've been playing really well.
Yeah, sure you have.
I have. It's been weird.
I believe you.
I shot 49 for the first time under 50 on 9.
Hey,
I know, dude. I felt good. It was by myself. No dropsies.
Oh, okay. It was by yourself?
No. I was with Paul and Alex. We went Friday morning.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Keep on practicing. But Luke Musgrave is a guy I'm trying to trade for right now if I can. He is, again, I think he's just going to go off this season. And if you have a rookie tight end go off, you're not going to be able to get him next year. So that's kind of why I'm in on him, trying to get him now. Dude. And my second pick would be Darren Waller. I don't know what you would have to give up to get him currently. But I think the value is going to be way higher at the end of the year. So those are the two guys I'm going for.
Yes. How much are you overpaying for Luke Musgrave?
What did you? I don't even know what you technically gave up to get. Like, what was his value in that trade? I don't even know.
Knows. You determine.
I'd probably give you a second.
I don't know if I'll do it for a second.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's a wrong. I'm not saying it's the wrong value, but you might as well just hold it for me.
See,
until I'm tanking, until I need to tank. For me, it's Greg Dulcich. Now, a lot of people have soured on him as well.
It's weird.
If Norton is listening, I don't want him to provide the advanced metrics because I don't think they're that great. They're very middle. Adam Troutman was brought over. People are panicking because Adam Troutman is ahead of him in the depth chart, playing on in the preseason. The thing about Greg Dulcich now is he's a pretty athletic tight end, and you're kind of banking on them needing him out there for a lot of the game because they are banged up on that offense. Javonte is coming back from injury. They lost Jerry Jeudy for a couple of weeks. They have no Tim Patrick. So it's down to Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims, which to me, Greg Dulcich should have saw a huge uptick the moment Jerry Jeudy, especially. I think Dulcich proves himself. I think they're going to need to throw. I think he'll need to be on the field for that reason. I think the Adam Troutman stuff is crazy panic. They said Sean Payton was hyping him early in the offseason, saying he's the joker of this offense. I think they're hiding some stuff with him. I think he has a monster year. I'm really excited about him.
No, I like that pick a lot. Especially like you said, once Jerry
add to it, Albert. They sure did to Philly. The Broncos trading Albert. Oh, although I sent a massive text to the group with me and Rob and Cody, and because once I said, I don't know why people are sleeping on Dulcich or something like that. And Cody said, you know what? Now that they traded Albert, I'm in. And I flipped out for fun, in a fun way, yelling at him because how could he be so nervous about Albert that it kept him from being in on Greg Dulcich all season?
Yeah.
Because of Albert stinking O.
But I agree with the point you made about, once Jerry Jeudy went down, Dulcich should instantly skyrocket up the tight end rankings. There's no question about it. Especially, dude, they're talking multiple, like 6 to 8 weeks before he's ready to come back. So,
and again, it's an injury that you don't love for any receiver to have.
Yeah. And like, even when Jeudy comes back, how good is he going to be? How well is he going to be running routes? Like, Greg Dulcich, in that time, if he's out 6 weeks, Dulcich could cement himself as one of their better receiving options in this offense. So why is he going to come off the field? I'm with you. I like that. I like that call.
I just want that offense to be so good. I really do. The Broncos are like how I view the Green Bay Packers, I guess. I just want them to be good.
Odds are stacked against them, unfortunately, with the Jerry Jeudy injury.
Sad to hear. They have 4 wide receivers on there, unless they've signed a couple to practice squad or I think they're going to add some before week 1. They have to. They're just waiting to see kind of the smoke clear out, which is another reason I'm like, oh, Greggy D. What tight end had a great year last season that you're selling in Dynasty, and for how much?
How much? I'm not sure. I'd have to look up Keep Trade Cut, but it'd be George Kittle. For me, he's never been someone I'm super in love with. I think a lot of he constantly finishes inside the top 5 tight ends. I think a lot of it comes in 2 or 3 games throughout the season where he just blows up for 40, 50 points, which can't take that away from him, and he wins you that week. But I think there's a lot more inconsistent weeks than there are good weeks, like top 10 weeks. So I've never been a super, super big fan of that.
You never been a Kittle bit?
No, I haven't. Not for fantasy. I like the player. I like him for the end. Like, I think he's a fantastic tight end in the NFL. But he's just not someone I'm actively in on for fantasy. And then I keep going, reverting back to this, that we've had these talks with, people from each NFL team. The guy we had on from San Francisco, Travis King, massive 49ers fan. He said that the offensive line is kind of the weak link of this team. And if that's the case, George Kittle is going to be in there blocking a lot more than people want him to be blocking. So I think he's going to have a lot more weeks outside the top 12 than in.
I think I'm with you on a lot of these tight ends. I know you said it like 3 times last night, but we've kind of talked about this all off season. These guys are getting older, man. Like some of these, George Kittle is 29, and it's not the oldest. Even in tight end years, it's a little bit different than like a wide receiver or running back, but it's not like he's been the healthiest. I mean, Rob Gronk is 33, and he's retired twice now. So it's scary for that reason, and I agree with you. I can't wait to talk about all 3 of these guys because I have 2 on my own list. But I sold George Kittle in the offseason. I sold him and Tony for a first and a second. I was able to do in a 12 team. He's one person I parted ways with. I also parted ways with Hockenson and Andrews, both this offseason. Now, I am not counting on any of these 3. You saw my tight end ranks. Any of these 3 doing bad. But their value is very, very nice. And Hockenson was the last piece I sold. These are Hockenson and Andrews I had on both the same team. George Kittle was on a different one. Hockenson was the toughest one for me to sell because I find his value to be the highest in Dynasty. And I needed an RB. I got Greg Dulcich back in that. I got an RB, Greg Dulcich, and somebody else. I thought it was good value. So like these guys are getting up there. I think it's time to try to bank on the next one up. Who's the next guy to kind of cement themselves at least into a tier within like the 4 to 8 range. Like that's a solid move. There is such an advantage to having the tight ends 1 through 3, but like those are guys that I'm making moves. I made this offseason in Dynasty. But it kind of is tough. They have good hauls. They have really good hauls. Waller's old and injury prone and on a new team that runs a lot and has a mobile QB. I'm out on Waller. I'm out on Waller too. I have him at tight end 8, which I think is
I am
late compared to the rest of the community. The community loves Waller. I'm out. I'd say this stat all the time, 60% of the games the last 2 years. I know that means nothing, but he's regressed in those last 2 years. The training camp hype has got people going wild. Norton says, I've cooled slightly on Dulcich as I was huge on him early, but the route participation being around 60% is slightly worrisome. I'm still in since ADP is dipping, but he's more boom bust than before.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. I think his floor is currently rising just because of all the injuries on that team. Like, he's going to get targets. He's going to have to get targets.
I think Russ looked for him last year in the games he played.
Yeah.
Robbie, any last thoughts on tight ends?
Luke Musgrave.
All right. We have next week, I think we're going to do an NFL bold prediction episode. I think we're going to plan on doing Monday, Wednesday, and take Thursday off. So maybe only 2 episodes next week, and then we'll get into our regular season schedule after that. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday is our game plan for the season. When we air on Thursdays, we're probably going a little bit earlier to 7 p.m. or something. We'll get it out on our Twitter or our schedule coming up for
we'll figure that out. A lot of moving pieces coming into the season. There always are, but we wanted to switch it up a little bit this year. I think it's the right move. We'll try to get our Thursday episode in before the game kicks off. So you can watch
Sunday.
us live. Hopefully, maybe it'll be recorded. We're deciding that yet, but you'll be able to watch us leading up into the game. That way you get football for even an extra hour.
If you guys are
game, you don't need it.
If we get all the comments like we did tonight, loved it. Loved all of you. Sundays will be a lot of fun. Sundays will be a lot of fun.
Sundays gonna be good.
It's gonna be fun. We'll get that out to you guys soon. For myself, for Robbie, Bobby, we love you all. Peace. Thank you for watching our episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
If you aren't already following us on Twitter, check us out at Dad Bod FS.
We'll be posting all of our best clips and videos to all of our social media: TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. You can find us on there at Dad Bod Fantasy Squad.
Lastly, if you'd rather just listen, we make sure we post our audio of each episode on all the major streaming platforms. Stick with us all season long so together we can count our trophies and not our calories.